Next topic is endurance. Endurance in all sports is directly or indirectly of high importance. Commonly, endurance is ability of an individual to do the activity or work continuously without fatigue. According to Harris says, endurance is the ability to resist fatigue. Next one is types of endurance. There are two types of endurance according to the nature of activity and according to the duration of the activity. In that, first one is types of endurance according to the nature of activity. There are three types of basic endurance, general endurance and specific endurance. First one is basic endurance. Basic endurance forms of the basis of all types of endurance. Basic endurance is also called aerobic endurance because basic endurance depends upon the aerobic endurance. Aerobic endurance means those activities doing with presence of oxygen. It's a continuous process. Okay. Basic endurance is the ability to perform movements in which large number of body muscles are involved and activity or movements is performed at slow pace or slow speed for long durations. For example, jogging, walking, slow running and swimming. That speed more than 30 minutes. This is all about basic endurance. Second one is general endurance. General endurance is the ability to resist fatigue satisfactorily caused by different types of activities. These activities may be aerobic or anaerobic in nature. That means speed activities or endurance type activities. These activities may be of low or high intensity but for longer duration. It can be said that general endurance enables a sports person to perform different types of activities for a long duration without getting tired or fatigued. And last one is specific endurance. Specific endurance is the ability to resist fatigue caused by a specific or particular sports activity. Fatigue is different from sports to sports. The specific endurance is also different from sports to sports. Here give one example. Specific endurance of a wrestler is to combat effectively in the 3 rounds or 6 minutes, whereas it is of 4 rounds for a boxer. That is the difference. Again, types of endurance according to the nature of activity. There are 3 types: basic endurance, general endurance and specific endurance. Next, going to types of endurance according to the duration of the activity. There are 4 types: speed endurance, short term endurance, middle term endurance and long term endurance. First one is speed endurance. Speed endurance is the ability to resist fatigue in activities lasting up to 45 seconds. The event, for example, 400-meter race. The event of 400-meter sprint is the most suitable example of speed endurance. The speed endurance is mainly depends upon the power and capacity of an energy production. Speed endurance is a combination of speed and endurance. The example of 400-meter sprint. Then second one is short-term endurance. Short-term endurance is need to resist fatigue in sports activities lasting from about 45 seconds to 2 minutes. This endurance also depends on the large extent on strength endurance and speed endurance. The endurance need of, for example, for short-term endurance is 800-meter race. This is the most important suitable example for short-term endurance. Third one is middle-term endurance. The middle-term endurance is needed for such sports activities which last from 2 minutes to 11 minutes. It also depends on strength endurance and speed endurance, but to a limited degree. The endurance needed for 1500 meter race and steeplechase race by a runner is the most suitable example for middle term endurance. And last one is long term endurance. Long term endurance is needed in such sports activities which last for more than 11 minutes. The sports activities such as 5000 meter, 10,000 meter, cross country and marathon races require such type of endurance. For speed endurance, those activities lasting up to 45 seconds. Best example for 400 meter sprint. Short term endurance, those activities lasting from about 45 seconds to 2 minutes. Example for short term endurance is 800 meter race. Then middle term endurance, those activities which last from 2 minutes to 11 minutes. Examples 1500 meter race and steeplechase. And long term endurance, those activities which last for more than 11 minutes. More than 11 minutes, examples are 5000 meter, 10,000 meters, cross country and marathon races. Next topic is methods to develop endurance. What are the different methods to, or how to improve the method, how to improve development of endurance? There are three methods of development endurance: continuous training method, interval training method and fartlek training method. In that, first one is continuous training method. Continuous training is one of the best methods for improving endurance. In this method of training, an exercise performed for a longer duration without any break. In this method, intensity remains low because the exercise is done for a longer period. Example for continuous training method, cross country race. It is the best example for continuous training method. In this method, the rate of heartbeat remains between 140 to 160 beats per minute. The total duration of the exercise should be less than 30 minutes. This is all about continuous training method. Continuous training method is one of the best methods for improving endurance. Here I am going to say few advantages of continuous training methods. It increases glycogen in muscles and liver. Second advantage is it increases the number and size of mitochondria. You all know about mitochondria. Mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell. Yes. Next one is it also increases the efficiency of heart and lungs. Also, for better results, intensity can be increased. Another advantage of continuous training method is it makes the individual self-disciplined and self-confident. These are all about advantages of continuous training method. Second methods to develop endurance is interval training method. It is a training of heart through endurance training. If you run, your heart beats at a faster rate. Bikila, the famous athletic coach of Finland, introduced this training method in 1920. This training, when an athlete runs at the speed of 80%, his pulse rate will be 150 to 180. That means in the rest, the pulse rate should come down 120 to 140. This is the best recovery time for speed endurance. This training method is based upon effort and recovery principle. During interval training, recovery period is given to the athlete after each speedy workout. Recovery period can be adjusted according to the efficiency of an athlete. The load can be increased by reducing the recovery period or by increasing the workout. For an athlete of 400 meters, following the example can be applicable for this training. 400 meter race with 80% of speed. In that time, heartbeat should be 150 to 180. After completion of 400 meter race, we have to come back to our original state. That is, we can with the help of walking or jogging until his heart rate comes down to 120 to 140 approximately. This is the come back to recovery period. After recovery, again we start the 400 meter race with 80% of speed. Likewise, these repetitions depends upon the experience or capability of an athlete. Same as recovery period and workout can be adjusted according to the level of an athlete. Then some of the advantages of interval training methods are: more workout can be performed in shortest period or shortest duration. It is more beneficial for both respiratory and circulatory system, and that can be trained both at the same time. The progress of the athlete can be measured easily. Also, athletes get fair judgment easily. Patience can be increased in athletes. These are about interval training method. And last and third method of develop endurance is Fartlek training method. Fartlek training method is used for developing endurance. Gustav Holmer developed Fartlek training in 1937. This is maybe asked in 1 mark question. Okay. Gustav Holmer developed Fartlek training in the year of 1937. The word Fartlek is a Swedish word, means speed play or speedy play. It is such as training method that blends both continuous training also interval training. This training method both the aerobic and anaerobic systems. In this method, pace or speed is not pre-planned, so it is left up to the individual. That means this training schedule. It's not a pre-planned one. It can be done for according to the talent and interest of an individuals or athletes. In this training method, we can be used various terrains such as hills, rivers, forests, muddy roads, metal roads, and grassy grounds. Self-discipline plays a vital role in Fartlek training method. The rate of heartbeat ranges between 140 to 180 per minute. The duration of the activity, the duration of Fartlek training method, minimum 45 minutes. It can vary from aerobic walking to anaerobic sprinting. We can be in this training method, we can be added plenty of activities between. Before doing Fartlek training method, we should thorough warm up. Warm up means jogging, slow running at least 5 to 10 minutes. Then after that, we can continue the activities. Activities means jogging, running, various. We can be improve, add or increase or decrease our speed. Then easy running with 3 or 4 quick steps. Then full speed uphill and downhill. Plenty of activities, plenty of exercise in between we can be added. Okay, this training method is not an pre-planned. Then some of the advantages are: it keeps the heart rate up, allowing an athlete to get good cardiovascular endurance. It is good for aerobic and anaerobic fitness. That means it helps to both endurance as well as speedy activities. Due to the sprinting intervals, it makes the body versatile. It is not rigid but flexible in nature. It is easily adaptable to the athlete. These are the advantages of Fartlek training method. There are 3 methods to develop endurance: continuous training method, interval training method, and Fartlek training method. Next topic is speed. Speed plays a very vital role approximately in every game and sport. Normally, speed is known as speed defined in the ability to move from one place to another in the shortest possible time. According to Barrow and Maggie says, speed has the capacity of an individual to perform successive movement of the same pattern at a fast rate. You can select any one of the definitions from the text. Next topic, types of speed. Speed appears in different forms of different sports. The main forms of which speed appears are: one is reaction ability, second one is acceleration ability, third one is locomotor ability, fourth one is movement ability, and last one is speed endurance. In that, first one is reaction ability. Reaction ability means it depends completely and coordinative process. So it is also considered coordinative ability. Reaction ability is the ability to react effectively and quickly to any action or signal. Reaction ability is the ability to react effectively and quickly to any action or signal. In games and sports, signals can be of various types such as visual or tactile. In games and sports, reaction ability is not only significant to react quickly to a signal, but the reaction should also be accurate according to the situation. Reaction ability can be classified into simple reaction and complex reaction ability. First one is simple reaction ability. Simple reaction ability means ability to react quickly in already determined manner to a known signal. Already we know the signal about particular activity. For example, the reaction of a racer in the start of sprint races is already known to the racer. It's a predicted one. We know the or already determine the sound, we know the signal. Okay. Next one is complex reaction ability. It is the ability to react quickly and accurately to undetermined or unexpected signals. These signals are unexpected of sports persons because he doesn't know when and to which signal he has to react. For example, facing a ball in cricket by a batsman. It's one of the best example for complex reaction ability. Simple reaction means the ability to react quickly and it's also already determined the signal. Whereas complex reaction ability means say react quickly and accurately undetermined or unexpected signals. That is the difference. And second one is acceleration ability. It is the ability to achieve maximum speed from stationary position or from low speed state. Acceleration ability means ability to achieve maximum speed from the stationary position. This ability is very important in all the games and sports in which maximum speeds are to be achieved in quickly, such as sprint races, swimming, hockey, football, gymnastics, etc. And third one is locomotor ability. It is the ability to maintain maximum speed for maximum time or distance. Locomotor ability means ability to maintain maximum speed for maximum time or distance. This ability is very important. Only a few sports, events such as 100 meter, 200 meter, that means sprint events, it should be needed. And fourth one is movement ability or movement speed. It is the ability to do a movement in minimum time. It depends upon the technique, explosive strength, flexibility and coordinative abilities. Movement speed plays a vital role in boxing, wrestling, throwing events, jumps, gymnastics, etc. And last one is speed endurance. Speed endurance is the ability to perform movements with a high speed under condition of fatigue. Speed endurance is the ability to perform movements with a high speed under the condition of fatigue. Speed endurance is a very complicated ability which depends upon the explosive strength, speed and endurance. It also depends upon technical, local muscular endurance and lactic acid tolerance ability. Speed endurance is a combination of speed and endurance. It is the ability to perform movements with a high speed under the condition of fatigue. These are all about types of speed. Next one is methods to develop speed. What are the methods to or helps to improve speed? There are two methods, acceleration run method and pace run method. Before that, we have to know about speed. Speed is the product of genetic and environmental factors. If an individual has more percentage of fast twitch fibers, his movements will be more speedy. On the other hand, if an individual has more percentage of slow twitch muscle fibers, he or she will have more endurance or stamina. The percentage of these muscle fibers cannot be changed, so it means that the genetic factor sets the limits the speed of an individual up to certain level, but environmental factors still play their role. In fact, central nervous system, muscular system, techniques, flexibility, motivation, concentration and willpower can enhance the speed of an individual. Okay, first method is acceleration run method. Acceleration runs are usually adopted to develop speed, especially in attaining maximum speed from stationary position. Acceleration runs means attaining maximum speed from the stationary position. It should be kept in mind that the technique of an event should be learned in the beginning. We should switch over the acceleration runs. For example, 100 meter sprint race, we should lay stress on the technique of start and complete running action. We should practice it at slow speed. That means after learning the proper technique, we should practice the technique at a higher speed. After good amount of practice of complete technique, we may switch over to acceleration runs. For acceleration run, athlete is required to run a specific distance. He or she takes start from the starting line and tries to attain the maximum speed as soon as possible and finishes the distance specified at that speed. These accelerated runs are repeated again and again with sufficient intervals between runs. Sprinters usually achieve their maximum speed in 6 seconds after the stationary position. It means that 50 to 60 meters is needed to start, accelerate and maintain maximum speed. Again, acceleration runs means to accelerate or to maintain, to attain the maximum speed from the stationary position. It should be kept in mind that the technique in acceleration runs mainly important we have to thorough about proper technique. After proper technique only we can be improve our maximum speed from the stationary position. Okay, we have to, the number of acceleration runs can be fixed according to the age and experience and capacity of an athlete. It may be vary from 6 to 12 runs. The repetition workout is compulsory for acceleration runs to helps to improve. Okay, to enhance maximum we have to practice proper thorough technique as well as repetition workout. Okay, these are about acceleration runs or acceleration runs method. And second method is pace run or pace run method. Pace run means running the whole distance of a race at a constant speed. Whole distance of a race at a constant speed or same speed. In pace races, the athlete runs the race with a uniform speed. For example, 800 meters and above races are included the pace races. An athlete can run a distance of 300 meters at full speed. So, in longer races such as 800 meter or above races, he must conserve his energy by reducing his speed. For example, if there is a runner of 800 meter race, his best time is 1 minute 40 seconds. So, he should run first 400 meter in 49 seconds and next 400 meter in 51 seconds. This procedure is called pace run or pace run method. 800 means there are 2 laps in the standard track. That means first round he or she should maximum cover the time of 49 seconds and next round normally in 51 seconds. Total it will be taken 1 minute to 1 minute 49 seconds. So the middle and long distance races must be run keeping the pace in mind. In the beginning of such races, the first part of the race should not be run too fast. Otherwise, what will happen? You cannot complete the race. We should distribute our energy according to the distance of a race. Generally, non-trained athletes do not run a race of such a way. So, what will happen? That's why they get tired after completing approximately half of the distance or race. They finally leave the race. So, the middle and long distance races must be run keeping the pace in mind.